Hello and welcome back to Math with Miss V, where this is still geometry, and now we're taking a look at circles. So in this video, we will look at the different parts of a circle and how to find the circumference and area of a circle. We're focusing on one whole standard, 7G4. Given the formulas for the area and circumference of a circle, use them to solve problems, give informal deviation from the relationship between circumference and area of a circle. So let's get started with the parts of a circle. The first we have is the center. This marks the middle of the circle. The next part we have is the diameter. The diameter travels from one side of the circle to the other side through the center. A diameter will always cut your circle in half. And finally, we have the radius. The radius travels from the center of the circle to the edge of the circle. Now, let's look at the relationship between the radius and the diameter. As a reminder, the diameter reaches all the way across the circle. A radius only reaches halfway across. So there are two relationships. So a radius is half of a diameter. So we can take our diameter, divide it by 2, or multiply times a half, and that'll always give us our radius. Or we can find a diameter by multiplying by the radius by 2, because it takes 2 radii to reach all the way across a circle. So we will be using two formulas today, the circumference formula and the area formula for a circle. Circumference is the distance around the outside edge of a circle. We have two options for that, depending on if we have a diameter or a radius. So circumference equals the diameter times pi, and we will be using for pi 3.14 in these videos. A lot of calculators have pi buttons, and you are welcome to use that. Just know that the actual number for pi is much longer, so you might get a slightly different answer. In the future, I will be making a video just about pi and its history, and once it is ready, it will be linked in the description box below. So the other option besides if you have diameter is if you have the radius, which you can multiply times 2 times pi to get the circumference. The other formula we're working with today is the amount of space a circle takes up, or its area. And this is pi times the radius squared. There is not a diameter option for area, it only uses the radius. So I will primarily use the radius option for finding the circumference, just because to me it's easier to memorize two formulas around the radius rather than to memorize two unrelated formulas. And plus it gets you into the habit of always looking for the radius so that you can find the area. So let's just jump in with some examples. So this is our first one. Find the circumference and area. We have a circle with a diameter of 6 feet. So because it goes all the way across, this is a diameter. Oops. Whatever reason, my pen is giving me trouble today, so I apologize for the slight delays. I don't know what's wrong. So remember, to find circumference, we actually do have a diameter option. We can say circumference equals diameter times pi. So our diameter is 6, so 6 times pi, which we're going to use 3.14. And we have 18.84. We could have found the radius. Remember, it takes 2 radii to equal a diameter. So the radius equals 3 feet. So your circumference could have been 2 times 3 times pi, because 3 is our radius. And we end up in the same place. 2 times 3 is 6, and pi is still our 3.14. So this is feet, because it's a measurement, one direction. Now to find the area. Area is pi times the radius squared. So it's a good thing we already found the radius. So 3.14 times 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. So 3.14 times 9. And we get that the area is 28.26 feet squared. Remember, because area works in 2 dimensions, it's a squared unit. Okay, let's look at another example. So find the circumference in the area. Again, we have that the radius is 7 meters because it only goes halfway across. So this time for circumference, we are going to say 2 times the radius times pi. So 2 times 7 times 3.14. So 14 times 3.14. And that gives us 43.96 meters. So because if we could take off this edge of the circle and stretch it out into a straight line, that's why it's just meters. A line runs in 1 dimension. Okay, so now area, remember the formula for area is pi times the radius squared. So pi is 3.14 times 7 squared. So 3.14 times 49. 49 times 3.14 gives us 153.86 meters squared. Again, area is 2-dimensional measurement, so that's why we square the units. And that's how you use the circumference formula and area formula for circles. Thank you for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.